Welcome back, Focus Learners, to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking something absolutely massive. We're diving deep into the corporate strategy and the full ecosystem roadmap from CoinPark and Metabot. Seriously, it's like a giant puzzle, and we're going to look at exactly how they plan to expand. We'll trace their steps all the way from a foundational rebrand right up to some literal sci-fi tech rollouts planned for 2030. So, let's get right into it.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the MetaKPK rebrand, then security and market status. Third is their blueprint for stability. Next, how they're empowering the community, and finally, those ambitious targets for 2030.
All right, Section 1, the MetaKPK rebrand.
Now, you might be thinking it's just a name change, right? Well, actually, scratch that. It is a highly calculated move to become the #1 crypto player in the Indian market. Take a look at this official visual transition. Botchain's symbol is officially updating from KPK to MetaKPK. By syncing this brand new look across all their active platforms, they're basically locking in a unified identity for this massive next phase of growth.
They see themselves as completely unique in the Indian market. But you know what's really compelling here? It's their brutal honesty about their pacing. They openly admit that they built their foundation in a dead slow phase, which then transitioned to linear growth. But now they are explicitly saying it's time to hit the gas and speed up. And to kick off that high-speed phase, they've got a major strategic visit to China lined up for July.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, security and market status.
You can't have ambitious scaling without rock-solid market trust, which brings us to this absolutely crucial number, 93. Out of the thousands, literally thousands of exchanges out there in the wild west of crypto, CoinPark has ranked 93rd among the top 100 on CoinGecko. And why does that matter? Because it's not just about trading volume. It's backed by a solid 8 out of 10 trust score. That proves they've already secured a verified, trusted foothold in the broader market before they even start this hypergrowth phase.
And to keep that trust, they have heavily audited their ecosystem. Let's break down these scores. They hold a 75.81 Skynet security score from CertiK. Through CER.live, they nailed a 96 out of 100 for server security, and a flawless 100 out of 100 for user security. Plus, they've completely passed a comprehensive vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, often called VAPT, and that covers the whole shebang: Android, iOS, their backend, and the web platform.
But here's the cool part. They don't just rely on automated audits. They actively invite human scrutiny. They launched a bug bounty program, which essentially means they're paying ethical hackers to try and break their system to find weak spots before the bad guys do. You can actually see hackers like James, Charlie, and Udo getting recognized right there on the public leaderboard. It's a really pragmatic, hands-on way to continuously harden their defenses.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, the blueprint for stability. To survive the crazy hype cycles of Web3, they are actually looking completely outside of crypto for their operational model. They're using India's Life Insurance Corporation, or LIC, as their template. If you don't know, LIC is this legacy traditional insurance giant that started with just a few offices back in 1956 and exploded into a massive dominant agent network today. So Metabot's goal? They want to mirror that exact multi-decade structural stability of a traditional sales network and map it directly onto a modern blockchain platform. To actually enforce that structural stability right down to the individual user, they're rolling out some strict new growth criteria starting in July 2026. Basically, team building is going to require a 75-25 split. In plain English, a minimum 25% of business volume has to come from a weaker secondary team to balance out the active primary team. This is a brilliant mechanism because it forces users to build wide, deeply stable networks rather than just one long, fragile, lopsided chain.
And when you put that kind of stability into practice, you get this really methodical development cycle. It all starts with idea analysis and resource hiring. Then it flows right into project development and community building, pushes through the product launch, prioritizes maintaining that stable growth we just talked about, and then it circles right back around to analyzing and releasing new products. It's designed to be a continuous, endless loop of growth.
Which leads us right into Section 4, empowering the community.
Now, the grassroots tactics here are surprisingly personal for a digital Web3 company. They are actively encouraging teams to bring Gen Z kids into the fold to capture that next digital generation. But they go much deeper than that. They're actually advising leaders to build offline relationships with team members' families to provide genuine assurance. They're literally telling every team leader to view themselves as the CEO of their own local territory, running executive-level meetings to drive physical, month-on-month expansion.
And of course, all these intensive offline community efforts are tightly coupled with their digital presence. Just notice their aggressive push into new marketing strategies on X, specifically leveraging the Metabot Apps account. The whole objective here is to take that local grassroots energy and translate it into massive brand visibility, capturing real organic social traction online.
And finally, Section 5, ambitious targets for 2030.
Okay, to generate immediate liquidity and market presence, they have laid out an incredibly aggressive 6-month listing timeline. Seriously, they're not settling for just 1 or 2 platforms. They're targeting 9 major exchanges all at once. And we're talking about zeroing in on industry heavyweights like Bitmart, Gate.io, and KuCoin.
And hey, this is not just some theoretical roadmap either. Take a look at this official social media announcement. It locks in the Bitmart listing for June 2026. This tangible milestone is exactly what kicks off their accelerated market expansion phase.
But here's the thing. Handling massive volume from global exchanges requires an equally massive domestic footprint. Right now, their agents are heavily concentrated in just 2 southern states, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So the immediate focus is a massive geographical leap, expanding into all states across India. To fuel this, they are heavily recruiting localized brand marketing managers and highly specialized R&D tech developers.
Because all of that nationwide recruitment serves one ultimate massive target: 1 million. By 2030, Metabot aims to cultivate a booming community of 1 million active users. And just to make sure they stay on pace, they've set a strict internal milestone to capture 200,000 of those users within this current year alone.
So how in the world do you reach 1 million users that quickly and efficiently? Well, this is where their roadmap gets truly fascinating. Drawing inspiration from the tech used to win modern political campaigns, they are outlining a 2026 frontier that includes, get this, holographic projections to address thousands of people instantly, plus AI-driven messaging for 24/7 engagement and actual robotic campaigning to generate viral reach. It is a wildly ambitious, totally digital-first approach to community building.
Which brings us to a fascinating close for today. They are taking the advanced AI and holograms that literally revolutionized national political campaigning and injecting them directly into the crypto ecosystem. This leaves us with a really compelling question. If this level of tech is the new standard for winning over massive populations offline, how will it redefine the absolute limits of Web3 community growth in the years to come? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.